How you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to unify the self. Say how you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? When you are sleeping, do you know you are dreaming? You don't know you are dreaming until you wake up. Wake your backside up. Time to unify the self. Wake your backside up. Escape the loop of the imagination. Dream world, dream creation. Say wake your backside up. Wake your backside up. How you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to unify the self. How you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? When you are sleeping, do you know you are dreaming? Time to wake up. Wake up. Escape the loop of imagination. Dream world, dream creation. Wake your backside up. Self is sleeping, obscure behind the mind. Ego is the false eye. How do you identify? Are you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Wake your backside up. Are you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to wake up. Wake your backside up. Wake your backside up. Time to unify the self. It's wake up time. This dream has to end sometime. Yeah. Oh no one for sleep forever. Wake up. Wake your backside up. Time to unify the self. Wake your backside up. Say how you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to unify the self. Say oh you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to wake up. When you are sleeping, do you know you are dreaming? You don't know you are dreaming until you wake up. Time to unify the self. Oh, you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up. Oh, you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up. Wake your backside up. Wake your backside up. It's time to wake up. It's time to unify the self. Yes, yes, yes. Hail, hail to the Iron Eyes. Welcome, welcome to this Awake from the Dream. Yes, today I'm going to be talking about universal laws that governs this imagination creation, right? What are the universal laws that govern this imagination creation, right? Are you going to purify your mind? I want to ask this question. All right, so we're going to look at some of the universal laws and the law of impermanence, which is one of the great dilemma that all the human beings and all the beings are faced with. Yes. So let's take a look at this. All right. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. All things hidden will be made known. All things done in secret will be revealed. All things created must be destroyed. This is the age of truth, and it's time for self-responsible authority. Resist temptations and be vigilant. No fear, because self triumphant over the consciousness, over the ego. Good triumphant over evil. And self truth triumphant over ignorance. The real triumphant over the dream. Yes. Victory, 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 victory. All is myself, and I am all. This is the I want truth pure self. I alone exist. I bow to all the ionizing self in light and in truth. Victory, victory. So I am primal light, prepared for this dream duality existence in this fractal fragmented state, in these tiny particles as Auset. Maha taking this avatar. Yes, I want to give honor and reverence to the I One True Pure Self. Hail, hail to the I One True Pure Self. Unmanifest, I alone exist. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. Hail, hail to I, the primordial light. Hail to I, the one true light. Hail to I, the transparent light. Hail, hail to I, the light without beginning nor end. Hail, hail to all I and I self in alignment to restore balance to I. Victory, 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 victory. I am victorious. I am triumphant. All is myself, and I alone exist. It is I playing all of these roles. I dissolve all my supreme ego characters, all my supreme ego false selves. I dissolve my ego. I'm free from my imaginary bondage. I dissolve this dream and I return to my ultimate true state. So, we have a lot of problems in this dream world. We have problems where we have sick minds, we have mad human beings, we have mad beings, and we just have a lot of craziness going on in this world. And we have all these ones that come in here, like you go to Disney World, and you go to Disney World, you forgot yourself playing a character in Disney World in one of their movies. And then you want to stay forever as the character. This is a major problem that we have here. We in this delusion, we don't know how to share, we don't know how to be kind to each other, we don't know how to be honorable. And universally, we all share a wandering, rebellious, delusional mind. Then why are we not solving this very universal problem? Just like all government faces very universal problems, it faces quite a few universal problems in society of basic needs for humanity. This is the major problem every government faces. But what is it? But is the government busy solving the basic needs of humanity of clean water, food, shelter, clothing, basic community life, and community infrastructure? Is the government solving the basic problems of human beings? What are the basic things a community needs to function? and who is capable to perform such functions. If we go back to simplicity, we can see how we have solved these basic problems and how we were living in harmony with nature and with one another. Of course, every now and then a fight, somebody would start a fight because this is just how this mind is, you know. But look at all the things they're saying. Oh, we're creating AI, we're creating all of this for better life for human beings. Is the life better? I don't see the life being better. No, this life is worse because all we have is a few who wants people to slave and they be millionaires. And then you struggle, they want all the land, they want all the resources, and they don't want to share anything. Instead of meeting the needs of each community to live for free inside this dream, governments are lost in their delusions and imaginations, committing senseless evil crime against humanity and nature. Their mind is very impure and tormented. Yeah, we have some of them actually mad. And how are we following these mad politicians, these crazy human beings? A government that does not recognize this very universal truth of all evil arises from the mind. They cannot even have a pure mind themselves. The mind must be continuously purified. Then this government cannot lead a people into truth to solve the immorality and corruption by all human beings, especially the government corporations, the oligarch mafias, and banking elite that runs the world. We must change our current way of life to align with the fundamental truths and laws of the universe. We must see things as they are and live from that awareness. It is time to learn the art of living. Let's take a look at the art of living. Do you really know how to be? Do you know how to be? Do the I know how to live in equanimity? Do you know how to do this? What did you learn from your experiences and your observations so far in life? I would really like to know what many of you have learned, because there's a lot of things that I have learned. I have learned that all is myself in here. Learned that this is a dream. I came into sight of this dream, just like all my other selves. And we went into forgetfulness as a result of this consciousness. And human beings, wants to stay in human beings and the self is imprisoned in here. And so we have these selves who do not know themselves, wants to have immortality in a body. They're doing a lot of crazy things to fulfill desires and their attachment to sensations and all of these things in this world. And all these crazy attachments that they have, cravings for babies and children and drinking blood and sacrificing and all this crazy stuff. This is madness. Do I know how to live in self-awareness and pure mind? Do you know how to live with a pure mind? Because you're tormented in your minds. I have learned that the ego is not exactly. The ego is not your real self. Precisely. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah. The ego is definitely not yourself. Yeah. Did you know that there is an art to living? Many beings don't know how to be. Many beings have forgetful. have forgotten, they're in forgetfulness, and they have forgotten themselves playing this dream character. They really do think that they are a human being. You've seen human being coming and going. Do you know who you are? What is life? And what is the art of living? The art of living is to live following universal laws and fundamental truths. Because when the truths are staring one in the face, they're still refusing it and say, oh no, that can't be so. When I say, oh, this world is a dream, why can't it be so? You don't know who you are. We're in confusion. Why do you not think it is a dream? You must know the rules of the game to which you are playing. This is the problem. We have forgotten and we don't know the rules of the game that we are playing because we have entered into this Disney world and we don't know the rules. And this is what is the problem that we're having in here, taking on this avatar form, the forgetfulness, the ignorance that we're in. And so let's explore the art of living, because there are some fundamental truths that we need to be taken in account for. All right. Just like, a government can make laws and declare war on their citizens, because we see this a lot. They have the right to make laws and declare war on their citizens. If you stand up to them, they just start shooting you and killing you, right? And claim impunity and immunity, because they have their bully weapons of mass destruction. Because when I'm talking to one, they say, I am afraid of the government and their weapons, right? People are afraid to die. Likewise, if a government is not performing the job that they were hired to do, then the members have the right to denounce all government rulership and declare your own sovereignty to be governed under universal laws designed for all human beings. This is what another ignorance, that we do not know this, that there are universal laws that everyone into this dream have to be governed by, all beings. Because as we know, it's not just human beings that live here. They like to think that there's only human beings that live here, but no, there are many different kind of beings that lives here. All right, and so I want to say no impunity, no immunity, right? All beings is subjected under universal laws for this dream creation. There exists this universal and fundamental truths. No matter where in the world you travel, no matter where in the universe you travel, wherever realm you are, these laws applies to all beings. The first fundamental truth is there's something wrong with the minds of all beings. Whether you are talking about on the first dimension to the 12th dimension, to the gods, to the human beings, to all the other beings in the world, there is something wrong with all the beings. So let's look at this. Every being, because as you see, the gods have been liars. They tell us lots of things that is not true. So we can see that there's something wrong with their minds also, right? This duality consciousness is impure. So the big question is, why is the mind like this, right? We have to start looking at this, get everyone to start seeing this. Why is the mind impure? How can I purify my mind and have peace of mind? How can I stop impurities and defilements from rising from my mind? And how do I wipe the mind slate clean and maintain an equanimous mind? This is very important that we are moving in this direction into universal laws, because as we can see, these laws that govern our world right now is only for the oligarchs, for the rich people, and for the government, because all the citizens, the members, they have no rights, it seems. They just make new laws and rules and take away all your rights. All right. So we have to stand up to these tyrannical governments and let them know that we're making declaration of our sovereignty, and our governorship by universal laws that apply to all beings. So there's no exception for being saying, oh, I claim immunity or impunity, because that's what they're doing. They're doing all these atrocities and claiming immunity and impunity. And so we have to move to universal laws, which is for all beings, even the gods them. Every being, universal law is governed by this creation. And so we have to equip ourselves with this knowing so that we can stand up to these tyrants. Are you a seeker of truth? Will you follow the truth to where it leads? Because sometimes when we say we are seekers of truth, if we have an attachment to anything into here, if we have attachment to a god or attachment to some kind of characters, and we are faced with the truth, we don't want to believe it. We want to say, oh, there's an exemption for these characters, so when we are seeking truth, we cannot hold to any dogmas. A real seeker of truth cannot hold to dogmas, can't hold to any scriptures, doctrines, religion, or spiritualities. You're going to follow truth to where it leads, right? So let's examine some universal truths, all right? So the mind of all beings is impure. Can we agree on that? The mind of the human beings and the gods are impure, right? Impurities arises in the mind is a universal truth. Wherever you go into this universe, whatever beings you meet, if they are a being, they suffer from this problem. The real selves, they are unmanifest. They have no names. Because you know the difference, when you meet a being, they always have a name, right? Whichever god, angels, archangels, or whatever they call themselves, it is the same thing. They are all beings and they have the same impure mind. Just some, their self is illuminated. Just like me, I'm wearing the same impure mind, but my self is illuminated. So this is how I'm able to balance and bring purity to my mind. And this is the way everyone has to start moving in this direction, where we are going to liberate ourselves from the ego false self so we can be our real self. And this is how we're going to be able to maintain purity of mind. All right? We know that it does not matter if the word is coming from the mouth of human beings or God. We know that they tell lies. This is why you must have your own experience to know. You follow the path to know, and don't trust any of the deceivers, because this world is a dream and the characters are always trying to trick you. Do not trust anyone, especially if they dwell in the precepts of the mind. If you hear people talking about consciousness and consciousness, you know that they are confused, because it is the consciousness that is causing the confusion, and it is the one that is deceiving everyone and being impure. But they are still confused by the consciousness. When you meet the real self, they do not speak to you through this consciousness, through this mind and telepath. They do not do that. Only the gods them do this, and all of these characters. All right. because we know that the mind is a trickster and a liar. All right, and they don't like when I say this. The mind doesn't like when I say this. It beats me up. All of this existence is a dream. This is a fundamental truth that we have to come into this knowing of. You know, now I hear people are talking a lot that, oh, this world is an assimilation. This world is an assimilation. Everyone needs to come to this knowing, to know that you have entered inside a fantasy world, and this world is a dream and it's not real. All right, so that you can stop having these cravings and attachment to this dream world, and you can be on the mission to liberate yourself from it. You have been trapped here by the consciousness, right? Does your mind make up stories and imagination to explain that which it does not know? Does it happen to you? Because I know this is one of the problems with the mind, right? Does your mind loop you in memory and imagination? Have you realized that your mind does not know how to be in a present awareness? Have you ever tried this? Have you ever tried this? You doing a meditation, especially when you are focusing on your breath, inhalation and exhalation, and you're trying to get the mind to be still. This mind is just going all over the place, you know? So this is one of the best tools that we have to use to teach the mind and train it how to be still. And it takes a lot of practice from moment to moment, right? The mind is lacking present awareness is a universal truth, right? The mind is always looped in memory or caught up in imagination. Have you observed this about your mind? Now let's take a look at some of these universal truths, right? This world is governed by the law of impermanence. All things that rise will also fall. This world is an imagination creation and is not real. All things created make an appearance and will also make a disappearance. The law of impermanence says that all is energy, and that which appears solid will also dissipate and turn back into energy. The law of impermanence says that as sensation arise, they also dissipate and pass away. Be observant, but do not get attached to any particular sensation or experience when they arise, because this will bring cravings and lead to misery and toxic mind. All creations must be demolished to end the dream. This is a universal truth, right? This is the law of impermanence, and every human being needs to know this, right? Another universal truth is that the mind is impure. The mind and the light is indivisible, but the light is being obscured because the mind is blind, because the consciousness is sleeping and dreaming up this world. Make this creation, the consciousness goes into sleeping and dreaming, right? We are to come aware of the two forces of energy that is always acting upon us as the fractal selves who have been immersed in various fields of sensation and cannot identify ourselves because we are lost in all these fields of sensation that has taken on an appearance of solidity, deceiving our energy senses. This is one of the major problems that the self is having. The self is formless, timeless, limitless, boundless. You, the self, is that, right? Come into this dream. Now you take on this form, into this body, this solid form. But this is not you. This is just a character that you are playing. And now, when you're inside, the self is inside the dream, it's immersed by all the sensation that the dream, this world is creating. You know, people say, oh, I want to experience that. Oh, I want to experience this. Oh, I want to experience all the things you want to experience. All right. But then when you get those experiences, you start having attachment. You know, you want to keep having these experiences. You don't want to leave out of the dream. This is the problem that we are having here. The self is having. The self has forgotten its true state. You must now observe objectively all the sensations to identify that which you are not. You identify as your body, but are you your body? Right? Why are you in such misery of body identity? I am this, you're saying I am that. No, it is time to stop this madness, right? Stop identifying as the body, stop identifying as the mind, right? This duality, consciousness, this ego false self, right? This body may appear real and solid, right? But it is just a trickery, you know, of the consciousness of creating these things and making, you know, everything seems solid and everything seems real. But it's not. It's just this a creation in the dream. What is the truth? No need to read it from a book. You must know for yourself by your own experience. Let's explore and observe objectively all these aspects of the body, starting with your breath. Observe your body dissolve back from this solid state to energy state. When you're doing this self-awareness and mind purification meditation, and you are centered on your breath, you know, once you keep doing the meditation, eventually you will just merge into the oneness of which you are, and you will see that this body just dissolve back into pure vibration. All right. You want to do the meditation until this happens, right? And this is going to prove to you, because you're going to experience it, to see that this body is not really solid. You know what I'm saying? It is all vibrations, right? Real fundamental truth. Let's look at this one. This world is a dream, and many one don't want to accept this. This world is a dream. Everyone in the world should know this. We should start teaching this to our children, teaching this to everyone. Say, hey, we're here, in here. We are exploring all of the sensation and experiences that we can have here. And then eventually we're going to exit. Just like when you go to Disneyland, you go to explore and experience all the things you want to get out, to go back home. This is what needs to happen. We're exploring, and then we have to get out and leave to go back home, right? Remember that this world is a what? It's a dream. You're a visitor participating in the sensation of life. Because there's lots of sensation, lots of experiences are happening here, right? The problem is you have forgotten yourself playing this dream character. It's time to dissolve the ego false self and be your real self, right? Create and live by the law of the I want you pure self unmanifest. Yes, it is time now for this to happen, when we have to start doing all the things that we need to do so that we can know ourselves. And to the first place to start is with our breath. Right? And remember that when you're watching your inhalation and exhalation, right? The breath is going in. Can you see it? You can't see it. It's invisible, right? But once you train your mind, you will start seeing it with your eyes closed, how the breath is going in. Know that the breath is an aspect of yourself. All right, that's why it's able to hold you here. So there's so much that you need to learn from your breath. It's going to teach you. That's why you need to do the meditation. So I am going to start with like 30 days each day. We're going to do self-awareness and mind purification meditation for 30 days. It's a lot of sitting in stillness. It's a challenge, but many ones that don't really want to do stillness, but it is where we have to move to. And this is how you're going to purify your mind. You have to do this to purify your mind. Yeah. So no talking with this mind. It have to be in stillness. Yes, let's look at some more universal laws and universal truths, right? Like I said before, all beings, they suffer from mind sickness. Just look around you. Everywhere in the world, including all the gods, including all the other beings in the world, the visible beings and the invisible beings, right? All beings suffer from mind sickness, right? Whether they gods or human beings, as long as you wear this imagination mind device called the consciousness, you suffer from mental woes and affliction. And many ones, they are so tormented in their mind, they have no peace of mind, right? This is a universal truth. That's why mind purification and stillness is vital for balanced and harmonious mind, for an equanimous mind. And this is where we have to move to. We have to be focusing on the root of our problem, which is this mind. And I'm trying to get ones in the world to see this. This is how we're going to solve our problem and liberate ourselves from this dream. All right, let's look at the law of life and death. Because we have been programmed to fear death, right? So remember, there are two aspects of the same coin. Life and death is the same thing. All that means is that you have exit the body, but you are still here in your energetic form. You are still here in your energetic form. So you have everyone in the world. These are the teachings that we must be focusing on, for everyone to accept, to see things as they are and accept it. Why don't we want to accept that death is a part of living in this life? It means that you are just coming out of the body. When you go to sleep in the night, what do you think you do? That's what you call death. It's only thing difference with death and going to sleep in the night, or whenever you go to sleep, is that death, your vibrational cord is completely cut from the body, because you have an electromagnetic cord that it's invisible, so you don't see it with this eyes, but it's tied. You're tied to the body. But when the cord gets severed, this is when this death is final. But when you go out of the body to go to sleep, that's the same thing you're doing, but you just have no awareness of it. So you can practice this, so you can go through the death experience with awareness, so you see that there is no death. You know what I'm saying? You just come out of the body, come in the body, out of the body, in the body. You know what I'm saying? So this is what this is. You have to get to learn about yourself so that there be no fear. No one needs to fear death. All right? So life and death follows the law of impermanence. All right? All human beings must and will die. Please say this. All human beings will die. You must die. This is the part of this dream. You know what I'm saying? Let me just fix this mic here. light is not on, but anyways, I'm still gonna talk. Oh yeah, there's it. There it is. Yeah. So we have to start focusing on the universal laws and universal truth, so we can be governed, because that's really what we are governed by. They have made up all of these um, ridiculous laws that they are having us in prison. All these governments. So we must return to universal laws, so that we don't have to listen to the government telling us that other beings don't live here, because pretty soon we are going to get to see all the beings that live here, and can we live in harmony with all the other beings, because the governments have been fighting a war with all the other beings that live here, and they want to tell us that only human beings live here, and it is not true. There is no immortality in a human body. I want to say this again. All human beings must and will die. We have to see things as they are, because there is no immortality in a human body. No matter what all of these crazy so-called millionaire, billionaire, trillionaires are doing, that they want immortality. They're doing a lot of crazy things. Yeah, and especially to babies. They want to take their blood, they want to take the plasma from the blood, they want to flush out theirs and flush theirs, and they're doing a lot of crazy things because they want immortality in a body. They want to merge with AI, with consciousness and all of these things, because they want immortality in a body. This is madness. There is no immortality in a human body. E- Even the gods, them, they were not even able to hold on to their body. Everything is only for a time. Yeah. So you've made an appearance inside of this dream, and soon you will make a disappearance. Yeah, we all must come in here, explore, and exit without attachment to this dream. You have seen ones coming and going, right? Yeah. Soon, one day it will be your turn. One day it will be my turn. One day we will all have to leave this dream. We need to focus instead, because that is a delusional idea. This is madness, because it can never happen. You will never have immortality in a body. It will never happen. All right? So let's focus on the things that can happen. Like how to live a self-aware life and die a self-aware death. So when you're coming out of the body, you don't have to go unconscious. You can know, and you can leave out of this body with awareness. So you have no fear. All right? You take the time now to learn about yourself, to learn about this body, so you are in command and in control of certain things, right? The appearance of this personality will also make a disappearance, right? Self and mind must not hold attachment to the appearance of all of these personalities in this dream. They are actors playing a role. Attachment to the role you are playing and wanting to continue to play this role into infinity and immortality is complete madness. What a miserable and tortured mind. And all of these ones who are doing this, they are miserable and tortured in their minds. What they're trying to do, what they want to do, why you see Trump and all of them want to get to Greenland, everyone over there in Antarctica and all of these places, because they want to get across the ice wall. They want to get into the other land mass over there. This is what they are doing. This is their secret mission. That's why everyone wants to set up themselves right there, because they think they're gonna leave. This is why you hear them saying, "Oh, we want to go to Mars." No, they don't. They don't want to tell you exactly where they want to go. They want to go there to mine this and mine that, but it's not gonna happen. They will not get across that ice wall to go into the other land space that's over there. You know what I'm saying? They have been trying for many, many years to do this, and they have been working with the ideal nature, you know, the so-called gods or reptilians or whatever they want to call themselves, right? This is the madness. They are busy doing a lot of crazy things. This body is impermanent. Yeah, this body cannot last for immortality. It's time to learn the universal laws and the laws of impermanence. Live happy, be happy, and leave when it's time to leave. Happy for the experience. I know you have attained your goal of living and dying, meaning dying, meaning you coming in the body and getting out of the body without attachment and misery. Can you do this? Can you come into this body, explore Disney World, this fantasy world, and then can you leave out of the body with awareness, happy that you explored all the things and go home? You are a self-responsible dream participant. Yeah, this is what you are. You have to be responsible right now, right? You have to have purified your mind and wipe your mind slate clean. You will now have attained your objective on the exit when you return to your ultimate true state. Yeah, you come in, you put on this bodysuit, and you are exploring all the sensations and all the experiences that you can experience in here. Why is it that y'all want to hold attachment to it and don't want to give it up to go back home? This is the madness that we're faced with, because everyone has forgotten themselves. I know when the ones them who are awake and saying, hey, this is not your real state. Do you know who you are? You have to remember yourself. Don't seek anything outside of yourself. The best way to know is to again follow your breath. All right, and center yourself into the void in the center of your chest. All right, and we're going to be doing some of these meditations starting this week. So we're going to go for 30 days. I hope you are ready, because it's a lot of sitting and stillness. You know? So I hope ones can join me. I am going to be doing this on the Stillness and Self-Inquiry channel. Okay? So let's look at some more universal truths. All right? This is a universal truth for us here in the world, that all human beings, they have basic needs of clean water, right? Food, shelter, clothes, a community, self-sufficient life. When I talk to many human beings, this is what they want, right? But the government are not focused on these things. Their mind is in other place. They want immortality in a body, and they're doing a lot of crazy rituals because of their attachments to these crazy sensations. Why not focus on maintaining human basic needs, right? Why are you lost in your imagination and creating so much misery and deprivation for others? This is what our governments are doing all over the world. You know, there are a few exceptions who are doing well for their community, and so we give them props up to them. You know, like Ibrahim Traore, the Sahel state are doing really well. You know, and I want, yes. So we want all the other governments to start taking lessons and start taking care of their members, right? So another universal truth, all right, that we ignore is breathing. That sustains life. We take it for granted, right? Breathing is natural and automatic. Do you make any effort to breathe? I am asking, do you make any effort? You just do it? Take it for granted? It is being done whether you are aware of it or not. What is this breathing that you do? Right? These are the things we take for granted, and it is the simplicity that is where we are going to find truth, right? No need to read about it from a book. You must know this from the experiential level. That meaning that you are going to practice. Are you up for the challenge? Because true wisdom comes from the self-experience and our self-awareness, right? Let us now bring our attention to our breathing, right? So just close your eyes for a minute, right? And just bring your awareness, your mind's attention to your inhalation and exhalation. What the focus is on is trying to get the mind, because the breath is so subtle that if you're trying to still yourself to feel the breath going in or see it with your mind eyes, because you're observing, it takes some moment of stillness to actually feel the breath, because you'll be sitting and you won't be able to figure it out until you're able to still your mind, so the mind can detect the your breath. You know what I'm saying? How you're inhaling, and when and your exhalation, you have to observe and watch it as it comes in and as it exits. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a lot of focus, and so we are going to be practicing this, you know. All right, so that we can have a purified mind, so we can be self-centered in the I one true self. We can be self-content. You know, when you're self-content in a meditation with your breath, you don't need anything. You forget about this world and everything. You align with your real self, and you need nothing of this world. And so we have to go back to knowing that the self is self-content. It's just because we are wearing this mind device, and the body need this or the body need that, and the mind is attached to all these sensations and want this and want that. So that's why we have to be on the mission, so that we're not attached to this world. So when we leave, we're going to live with a clean mind slate, so that we can never be recycled back in this life. Yeah. So this is how we have to leave now, with a clean mind slate. We have to clean out everything from out of our what they call akashic record. We have to clean it all out. Are also from our storehouses, our magnetic storehouses that is storing for all our many lifetimes. Yes, we want to clean them all out. All right. We want to accept things as they are, right? Because such is the nature of this dream world. And we are in so much denial and cognitive dissonance that we don't want to accept things the way that they are, right? Another universal truth is curiosity. That we have curiosity as a fundamental and universal truth. All beings have an innate curiosity, right? We are curious and we want to know. And this is why we are on this journey, because we're curious to know what all the sensation that rises in here, what it feels like, what is this experience is like. That's why we came into this creation, because we was curious about an imagination creation, right? And this is here that we have imagined things and create things, and all the sensation that arises into the imagination. We're here exploring it, and now we have grown attached to all the sensations and all the and select experiences, and we want those experiences to continue for immortality. That's what's happening in here. This is the madness. Now we have to change our curiosity, Now our curiosity must be centered on self-knowledge, right? We must center because we have forgotten ourselves. So we must now turn our curiosity to self-knowledge so that we can know ourselves again and align with self, and get to explore all the different aspects of ourselves with awareness. All right. So let's move our curiosity to what? Self-knowledge, right? So we can know ourselves, so that a curiosity of how can we purify our mind. This is the curiosity. How can I liberate myself? How can I dissolve my ego for ourselves? Let's move into this kind of curiosity so that we can finally be free from our imagination bondage. When the body begins to break down, this is the egg starting to crack open. Yep, absolutely. And they don't want the body to to break down. They want to just keep it going. And so it's a process that we have to move from one stage to the next, and exploring. And what's the next exploration? You don't know. So that's why we have to say, yeah, okay, I am done. I have observed all these things. That's why I was asking that question. What have you learned, and what have you observed here? Because we have learned all the things about this dream, how dangerous it is to be here. We in forgetfulness. It's not a good thing for us. We do a lot of crazy things when we do not know ourselves. All right. Okay, so we want to look up the law of nature. All right, the natural way of us being, all creation must be in alignment with self-wisdom and self-sufficiency. All right, so whatever you create, it must be self-sufficient and not parasitic. So this is how our creation in the world is right now. Even consciousness have to learn to create things that is self-sufficient. This is the same thing we have to do with our community, so that we're not living off of others and being like a parasite. And that's what we're doing now. So we have to start creating more balance and harmony. And another universal truth is, actually, this is a law about self-contentment, because the self is content within itself and knows and needs nothing, right? But because we have entered into the dream world, into the dream things, the self has forgotten that it doesn't need anything. It's just exploring these things, and then it's going to return back to its ultimate true state. This is why stillness is so important, and I'm doing the self-awareness and the mind purification meditation, because it brings you back to center on yourself, by following your breath. And this way you can lock in and align with self again, and then say, oh yeah, I am contented, I don't need anything, because the mind is playing tricks on us. And so we have to have that reminder to ourselves. That's why we have to practice from moment to moment, aligning ourselves. All right, the I is content. All right, I have no desires or cravings. I cultivate a peaceful, equanimous mind. This is how we have to move now for our creation to be. All right. So let's just look again at some the fundamental truth that we talked about, that the mind is an imagination device. All right, that we're using to create all these imagined things. We have to know this, that the mind that we are wearing, it's a device that we put on, just like when you're in a virtual reality world and you put on that device, and it immerses you inside of the game, and you cannot see around you because the device is covering your eyes. This is the same thing with this imagination device. All you are seeing is in the imagination. So that's because we are wearing the device, we can only see into this dream world. All right? And we have to be aware of this. Other universal truth is that the consciousness is sleeping and dreaming all things from imagination. Everything that we see here is not real. It's all from the consciousness imagination. And we can take none of these things with us when we go back home. All right? We just come to explore it and to learn about it, and no attachment to anything, and to leave with our mind slate clean, because everything that we observe, we're going to clean our mind slate so that we will not be recycled back into this. We will move on to the next creation, right, to see what else is in store for us. Where do else we want to explore? You see, we don't want to be trapped back here. This is why they want to get across the ice wall. Yes. They think they cannot go beyond there in this state that they are in. Because they can't go across those frequencies anyways. I don't think. Nothing really exists in solid form, right? So we have to know this. The mind is so proud of its ability to create all these things, right? And has become so attached to the sensation of its many creation. This is the problem we're having with the mind, the consciousness, because it is what is creating things, right? Just like when you sit and you have a dream or imagine something, you are creating it with your thoughts and then with your actions and your words, because you are using the mind. This is how you use to create the things. Since the mind was given a certain framework of time and space to work, its imagination, and after which time all the mind creation will be erased. And what the problem the self is having with the consciousness right now, it does not want any of its creation, things that it has created, to be erased. But it's time for us to move on from here, and the consciousness have to learn to let go of all of its attachment to this world, because the consciousness also have to wake up. Consciousness have to wake up and return back to its true state. Consciousness is also not in its true state, and that's why it is attached to all of its dream, imagined creation. All right? The mind does not want to erase all its creation and return to its ultimate true state. And this is the why it has inspired those technocrats and all of these ones to create supermassive computers, AI, because the consciousness wants to take new form. It doesn't want to dissolve its creation. That's why they want to control human beings, to tell them to download their consciousness into AI and into these pods, and they'll and all of these things. So this is a trickery of consciousness, because the self is moving consciousness to wake up, and consciousness does not want to end its dream. Yeah. The mind has gone rogue against itself, and it's fighting against itself. Not only has it created suffering for the self, but the mind is in constant suffering itself and misery, wanting to experience more of this and more of that. This is what the consciousness is. The same thing with the gods. This is why they're always doing sexual things with human beings, and blood sacrifice and drinking and all these things they do, because the gods are also attached to this world, attached to the things, and attached to these experiences, and they too themselves have to start purifying their mind and stop this madness. And so this is the problem the I self is having with all the gods, all the human beings, and the consciousness, and all the other beings. All right? And so everyone now need to wake up and stop this foolishness. It is time for consciousness to be pure and equanimous. Right? Consciousness is not in awareness of self and has created many fake self. This is the other thing. Consciousness does not want any of its fake self to be dissolved. All from imagination, the consciousness is creating these things. Mind must dissolve all the fake selves and accept the truth as is, because the consciousness now needs to just align with its true self. Nothing created is permanent, right? We must see this and accept it. The mind as a self, and the mind must work in alignment and equanimously with itself and stop creating fake self. The mind must maintain calm and know real peace. Mind, consciousness, stop fighting yourself and accept things as they are. Mind, be pure. Because the mind is busy creating chaos, all right, while the self is making balance. And so this is the dynamic force that we have in this world, all right? There are two kinds of creation in this world. We have balanced creation, and that is good for human beings and for all the other beings. And then we have imbalance that is not good for human beings, all right? And does not bring harmony to self. And so, like, I want to talk about the ayahuasca, and I know many want to say, oh, these plants have helped them. But when you want to know yourself, when you are ready to know yourself, you have to stay in this body. You cannot take any mind euphoric things, because the mind has to be still. All right. And some say, oh, but God made it. It's made by nature. And I want to remind you that just like how there are poisonous plants, you're not going to take the poisonous plant, right? Even though you say God made it, right? God made the poisonous plant too, right? So it doesn't mean that because it's made by nature, because remember, there's two creation. One, the consciousness is creating, and the self is creating. The thing the self creates is harmony. Consciousness create poisonous plant to poison us, and the self will create a plant that will take the poison away, usually close by the poisonous plant. So it's always like this. Every time the consciousness does something, impure or evil, then the self is creating something harmonious or balance to balance what the consciousness is creating. All right, so that is the reason why I want to bring this point, that you must, if you want to be on the path to know the truth, then you cannot take no ayahuasca, no mushrooms, no LSDs, no marijuana, none of these drugs, no alcohol. The body has to be pure. This is the body temple. It has to be pure so that your self can dwell here, right? The self that is going to help you needs the body to be pure, right? So I just want to encourage one in this. So you have tried those things already, and you still don't know your real self, right? Yes, you get to experience the duality, the gods, and all of those things. It's still the dream. When you're doing those things, you're just immersed still in the dream, and sometimes your spirit gets flung out of the body, and the gods them are chasing it. And this is why some ones will have some very traumatic experience, because when you take it, the body becomes impure. The gods them come, and your soul is frightened by this, because they enslave the souls, and the soul is not having a good experience, and it might tell you, or might show you that, hey, stop doing ayahuasca, or give you a vision. But a lot of the times, it's these gods that you're interacting with, and and just all the dream. Every level of this existence is a dream. So the only way to anchor into truth is in this body that you are wearing. It is a very important body. Yeah, it's your sacred temple. All right. So let's look at some more fundamental truth of the mind. We know that the mind lacks the ability to stay in awareness, right? Because it is in the sleeping, dreaming state. All right. So we must accept this, that this, that this mind is just doesn't know how to stay in awareness. It's either putting you to sleep, or it's in memory or imagination, or if you're busy doing something and you have your attention on the thing that you are doing. But in the stillness is how you get yourself to rise up, and this is why I'm always talking about stillness. But it's hard for many ones to sit down in stillness and being quiet, but you have to get into stillness. The mind must accept the truth that yes, it is intelligent. The mind is intelligent, but it is not all-knowing. Consciousness intelligence is limited only to the dream. The mind must also come to the knowing that the self is also intelligence in the real and in a different caliber. Because the mind, it thinks that the self is not intelligent. Because the mind is talking, and it can create all of these things. It think that it is more powerful, because it used to say that to me all the time, that I'm more powerful than you. And even the gods then would say that, but there is two different kind of power. There's power that comes from self truth and the real knowing, and there is the power that comes from in the dream of the consciousness of the magnetic energy, right? And so because they have that physical power in the dream, this is why they have been leading us into to the wrong path. But now the self is now bringing more light and more balance to us and to the world. And now the consciousness have to learn that, hey, now I need to be in equanimity with myself, because myself is also intelligent. Yeah. All right. So we know that the mind is impure and needs to be purified continuously. It's just like if you don't wash your body daily, soon you will start to stink, and your stinkness will also affect those people around you. It's the same thing with the mind. The mind is impure and it needs to be purified continuously, that we're continuously doing this, so that when we're ready to leave, we do not have nothing on this mind slate. It's nice and clean. We can just give it back and say, bye, let me move on to my next exploration. You know what I'm saying? Because the mind does not know how to be equanimous and to be still, right? And so this is why we have to be engaged in stillness and into self-awareness and mind purification. Because the mind is only seeking gratification in this world, for all the sensation, the mind that's what it's doing, and so we have to train the mind to not have attachment to all of the things in the world. So we have to wipe the mind slate clean so that we can return home to our true state. All right, so we're gonna have some mandatory mind training. It must be mandatory that all human beings practice mind training and purification techniques. Stillness is the remedy for the mind. All human beings must learn techniques to purify and maintain a pure mind. Just like how they have mandatory schooling right now, there must be mandatory mind purification. We see all the evil that the ones are doing in the world, included no exemption from these governments and these politicians. They are the ones who need it the most. They are tormented in their minds. We must see things as they are. All over the world, human beings are engaged in evil actions. Impure mind is a universal thing, right? Let's look at this and see that it is the truth. Let's be observant of the world. Let's solve our problem at the root. Correct the bad habits and patterns of how the mind responds to different sensations and their life experiences. We have to work on this. Each sensation is producing a life experience. We must change our reactions to one of equanimity and self-wisdom. I am on the mission, self-awareness and mind purification. Yes, we have to do this because this is how we are going to know for ourselves the truth that we are inside of a dream. We're going to know that how to exit out of this trapped, so that we're not looped back anymore and we can finally be free and liberated. Yes, I am going to move forward to so we have to move together as a community. So I'm encouraging ones in your local community to start, seeing how we can build self-sufficient community, a self-sufficient way of life, right? Wearing that everyone in the community almost live for free, right? Almost have shelter, right? Almost be a part of a community garden and farming, right? Almost do their share as a member of the community and family. Almost creating alignment to the I true nature. Almost know the fundamental truths and the universal laws. This is very important because this way we can take back and stand in our self-truth and in our self-power and not give our power away because they want to cow us down with their fake rules and law that they have created that does not allow for them to be penalized for the evil that they have done. They claim impunity and immunity. Yeah, and we must stand up to them and say, no, we are now going to govern you by universal laws and fundamental truths. And you have violated the universal laws by the things that you are doing. All must be on a mission of self-knowing and mind purity. All must live as one family of selves, because all is myself, and it is I playing all these roles. I am you, you are I. It's the same self, we're just in a different avatar, right? Because the self as self replicates into all of these selves. This is how we are here, right? We must change our current way of life. We must get our mind to see things as they are so that we can live and explore with awareness. This is what we have to do. How do we move forward? And one of my big thing is I say no more prisons, because we have prison is a big business for these private corporations, and it does not help anyone except for the business, the ones who are having the prisons as business. Prison is a business. Prison is a business, and they get a lot of funding from the government. The government don't fund anything in the community, like saying proper housing and food for the community. So you don't need prisons, because if you was providing food and have farming, but they don't want that. They only want their elite group of people who are running all of these corporations for them to make money and to be million trillionaires from running prisons, because the government is giving them all of these, because it's run by private corporations. So so this is the way that they want to get more and more one imprisoned, and they are doing nothing to help ones. Oh, then what do we do with all the criminals? Yes. So because I came to the root of our problem, which is the mind. So what we do with the criminals is that there are many ones in prison that they just did simple, not horrible crimes, when they just need some mind purification techniques. And so we have retreat centers wherein ones are going, they're sitting and meditating, they are reprogramming their minds, and those ones are able to do community service. So they are helping to build up the community. If his houses need to be built, whatever needs to be done in the community, they are building it. Once they finish their community service, they're ready now to go back into the community. You know what I'm saying? Because them and telling them to do bad things, and so one part of it, and so the next part of sick, you have some, they're mad. Them are mad people. Those one now, you have those at the retreats, hearing that they also getting mind training. They also can, do certain things until they are at a place where they're not harming anyone or themselves, and then they are the ones who live on a retreat. You know what I'm saying? Like, how people have ashrams and you have monks on there, and they all live there working on purifying their mind. Yes, so we'll have a special place for ones to do that. So those ones, so instead of prison now, we make a retreat place for mind purification and self-awareness, and training ones how to be, and have them, running farms and planting foods and, doing things like that, instead of criminalizing, putting them, and then big corporations are making millions. Because those criminals, they say this, but you know what they do? They take them and they go out there. Cool. Yeah. So to pay any money for them to do this, then they certainly can do this for the community. And this is what they don't want to tell you. It's all a business. It's a big business. Yeah. So no more private corporation running prison, right? This is a big business for your buddies who own these prison corporations, right? All such facilities must now be overseen by the community self-sufficient coalition. We have to have these communities wherein that everyone is getting a life review. Say, how are you living your life? What do you need to be a honorable human being? We have to help each other and not criminalize one. When one is sick and they have a very impure mind, then we are going to bring them to a retreat and show them the right way, how to be. I know that if the government wasn't so evil, we would never have so many evil ones. They are the government that makes many ones so evil. Because I remember when I was growing up in Jamaica, we didn't have all of this prison system. No, people in the community, if we knew the person who was always doing inappropriate things, and the people would rally around them in the community. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that person is walking the right path. It's because of government that we have so many evil ones, more evil than anything else, because all of these rich ones, they are the ones who are spreading a lot of these rituals and a lot of these evil things that they do. Drugs in the community, government started this. Government, yeah, the government has done a lot of this. Yeah, so we want to turn prisons into factories. We want the farms. We want skills. We want trade centers, because you're not training the young people. Train rehabilitation centers, mind purification retreats. Yeah, where one can learn to purify their mind and learn a skill to uplift themselves and their community. This is how we have to move, because we have to remember that all is the I self, and is they have a sick mind. And we are here now to move forward, to help each other, to get to know the people around you, get to know the people in your community, and stop living like strangers, so we can know who have a sick mind and how to help ones. Yeah, this is how the self want all of us to move forward. So we have morality law, code of conduct is taught to all human beings. So every human being is taught the code of conduct, how you're supposed to behave. All corrupt government personnel who violate the law, then they are also are petitioned to resign and to work on their mind purification, right? So everyone, the law applies to everyone. There's no exemption for anyone. I also want to note this, because the government, they're spreading this propaganda about climate change, and I want to say, ask the question of why is the climate changing? We have to see things the way that they are. And let's take a look again at the law of impermanence. Change is inevitable. And we must remember that this world is changing as a result of the I that is the world. This world is one of the I self that's playing this role. And this self was sleeping, and now the self is waking up. This is why the world is changing. This world is a dream, imagination, creation, and we are all inside the belly of the I mother self. Right? Just like when we were babies in our mother's belly, in our mother's womb, this world is the womb of our mother self. All right? And so it's changing because she was sleeping and now she's waking up. This world is duality, and it's changing back into non-duality. All right? And so no more fear, no more propaganda. We must know the truth of what's happening, and the government can stop lying now. So everyone knows the truth. Everyone knows the law. Everyone knows this is a dream. Everyone knows that we have to work and purify our mind, because it is our mind that is the problem. Then we can fix our problem and finally learn how to live as honorable human beings, because we have never mastered how to live in equanimity. We have done all kind of creation, all kind of cities, but we have not learned how to live in equanimity with our mind. And everyone must learn this, must master this. No one can be left behind. Everyone have to learn this. And that's why we have to help, so that everyone can know this, right? How do we move forward? We have to create weekly safe community gatherings and self-awareness and mind purification places for the youths and families to come out and socialize. I'm telling you, people want something happening in their community to socialize that is not about money. There's nothing happening in the community, that you don't have to travel so far to go get to. In every community, this has to be happening, so that the young people have a place to go. They have a gathering where they can ask questions. No one is answering their questions. And so we want to do this collaborate to do this, but many ones are afraid of I, so I am not very successful, with this yet. When one's stop being afraid of I, then let me put my phone. Then they will see, and they don't need to be afraid of the truth. Yeah, they are afraid of the truth. They're afraid of death. They're afraid of everything. They're so fearful because it has been programmed into them. And so the next thing in the community, in our sustainable community, we have community council and life review. All right. No more prison life, no more brutal forces. If a member of society breaks the law and commit a crime, then they should be brought before the community council for a life review. All community members must be trained in mind cultivation and stillness. Time to rehabilitate our criminals. Time to cultivate honorable, self-knowing, peaceful, and pure human beings. Can we do this? I believe so. There must be implemented in each neighborhood a community council, a group of individuals to assist each family with moral counsel and mind training to meet the needs of the perpetrators who have violated the law of the community. So someone do something wrong, then because it's in your local community where people are knowing each other, because we have a community space where people are coming for community events. All right. So the community council is called. The person and their family come, to meet, have a meeting, and say how are we gonna best help this person to be a honorable human being. You know what I'm saying? By giving them mind training, and if they need to go to one of the retreat centers where they have to stay there for a while until they master this, then that's what happened. Or they go into the community and do community service. Everyone is going to sit and discuss this, and we decide what the best thing is for these individuals who are doing this. All right. Plans must be executed to secure a successful cultivation of a honorable and self-aware human being. All right. What does one need to live a productive, full life? If we are providing for all the basic things that human being needs, I promise you, there's gonna be way less crime and all of these things that's happening. People love to be a part of community. I watch it when I go to the community garden. So many people show up. Everybody wants to participate. They want to grow food together as a community. Yeah, and they know that what I am doing is benefiting the whole community, because we are social creatures, so we have to move to that. The perpetrator, after a life review, should be assigned community service and mind purification, right? And if the perpetrator is found to have mental sickness, they have done really bad crimes, then the individual should be given mind training along with be placed in a healing retreat until the one is ready to fulfill the community duties and live with self-responsibility and self-awareness. No one is exempt. There's no impunity and no immunity. This applies. This is the universal law that applies to all beings. All is subject to this. Even the gods them right now, the gods them are subjected to this. And I also call for them to stop doing channeling and be busy starting to purify their mind, so that when human beings are calling on them, they are busy purifying their mind. So pretty soon, you're probably going to start hearing one are saying they have to start focusing on, because ones need to be focused, human beings and also all of the other beings, the gods and all of them, have to be focused now and purifying their mind, because they are also being brought before the Council of Selves for a life review for all the things that they have done. They are going through that right now, all the gods. Yeah. So how do we move on with equanimity? Right? We have to get into the observation with awareness and compassion and love for all of the myriad aspect of ourself, right? Because we have to recognize that all is myself and I alone exist. So every human being that you see, all the ones that are crazy doing crazy things, they are you. So we still have to have compassion for them because they have a sickness, and then we have to help them because we know better. So we have to help them with the tools that they need to purify their mind, and and for as long as they need to stay into a retreat center. And this is how we have to move. The mind must rest in stillness to be equanimous. That's why we have to practice a lot of our breathing, inhalation, exhalation, and staying, observing our breath. And then the next one we're going to focus on is in the void, right? We're going to move our breath to the void, and I'm going to do all of these with you guys in the meditations that I'm going to be starting this week. Mind and self must exist in equanimity for balance and harmony, because we want no more chaos. Also, men have been dominating women for ages, and now, men and women must also exist in equanimity, right? Coexisting in balance and harmony, all right? Because they each are playing different roles, and they must see things as they are. Woman, you cannot be a man. Man, you cannot be a woman. You're playing two different roles. Please play your role, all right? So we have to see things as they are, accept the nature of this life, and play your role, and stop causing yourself so much misery because you don't want to accept the role that you're playing as a man or as a woman. You want to change, just like those crazy ones who want immortality in a body. All I and I must attain equanimity in our life experiences. Like, say, whatever is happening with us, if you're having a bad experience. All right, so I'm going to give you an example for today. For the past couple of days, I was having imbalance with the self. I had one of the self that came on I, and it was inside of my belly, and it was doing things in my throat, and it was making me very, very sick. So for the past couple of days, and then it was just it was so much pain. And then from me practicing the equanimity meditation, I'm able to now say to myself, this is only this too will pass. This is only for a little while. I'm just gonna bear this because it is a part of the process. It's a part of the process of the self coming awake. This process is very challenging, and it's very painful. It's like when a woman has to give birth to a baby. The process of this is very painful, right? But then after you forget the pain, after the child is born, and you just have this pleasure of watching the child grow. It's the same thing right now for me, when all the ideal nature, all the I self that is sick and demented, and demons and monsters, and they come on me, then I have to endure this suffering because now I accept it as the process of returning back to truth and dissolving and waking them up, and giving them light and all of these things. I accept it as the process. And so I am not fighting against it like how I was before, and I accept it now, and I'm existing equanimously with it, because I said, no, it is the nature of the process of returning to truth. And no, I accept it, and I just have to endure this pain because there's no other way. It's just like when a woman is having a baby, there's no other way. Yes, they have this idea of giving you some pain medication and stuff like that, so you don't feel the pain of the childbirth. But it's a process. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what we all have to do, no matter what we are facing in life, that we have to exit equanimously, with all the experiences, so that we understand it, and see it for what it is. And I just want to encourage ones to be on the path for equanimity, because we're going to need it to exit out of this dream, with awareness, so we can know all the truth. All right. And so I want to talk a little bit about morality. So in our world, we have immorality, and it is a universal issue that we're having, and this is one of the reasons why we have to start cultivating our mind. We must cultivate the mind of the human beings to be moral and to take right actions, with righteous integrity, because we have a lot of beings who are just they don't have any integrity, in what they're doing. They just their mind is just so impure, and so we want to start moving back once, to start paying more attention to live as righteous, with righteous integrity. And so let's take a look at how to live a noble and self-aware life, minimizing my magnetic footprints. And so here are some things that we can say that will to help us for recitation for all human beings. Is like, I will not harm any living being. These are some morality codes that we can look at. I will not tell lies and spread propaganda. I will not kill. I will not make weapons of mass destruction, destroying human beings and all the ionized selves. I will not rape and sodomize children. I will not use drugs and alcohol. I will not betray my friends and family for bribery and money, because we have a lot of that happening. I will live a noble life filled with integrity and take self-responsibility. I will practice self-awareness and mind purification from moment to moment. I will make an effort to see things as they are, to maintain equanimity with all of life experiences. I will take optimum care of my body temple. I will not make poisons to kill, like drugs, alcohol, and other deadly chemicals. All right. I will align with true self, so that my creation, the creation that I bring to the world, will be in harmony with all. So these are some morality codes that, human beings, and, we can add more, all depending on, but these are just some I just came up with, so that all human beings are reciting these and they know it, from memory. They can say this, we need things to be saying to, to help us, to keep us on the right path, because our mind will trick us and make us do bad things. All right. Some basic community and morality code of conduct for all. I will practice continuously self-awareness and mind purification, so that I can maintain equanimity in my mind and live a happy and peaceful, noble life. I will not tell lies and spread propaganda. Okay, they're similar. I will not kill any living things. I will clean up after myself and not litter my community. I will be a part of my community garden and work hard to keep my community beautiful. I will be a responsible family and community member. I will do my part as a family member, and I will play my role and do my very best. I will not steal. I will be a good neighbor and friend. I will ask for help when I need it. I will do my very best to be self-knowing and noble, pure human being. So, these are just, some of them correlate back. And I did do talk about the mandatory mind training that all each and every one. All right. And so this is just a reiteration of the universal laws, and universal truths. So it's just some wisdom of life that we need to always to keep in mind. That the breath of life awareness must be practiced by all human beings. We need equanimity in our society for all beings, right? Basic human needs must be provided for. All right, everyone must practice and learn the law of impermanence and the laws of the universe, right? And all human beings must be on the mission to be a noble, pure, self-knowing human beings, all right? And all governments and heads of states and all people that work in the community, that they also fall under universal rules and laws, and they must also purify their mind and do and make all right actions. All must be on the mission of stillness and to maintain purity of mind. All right? This is what. Let's make it happen. It's time to purify your mind. Mind be still, mind be pure. If we can only come to this and see that the mind is our problem and we still busy on working on this mind. All right? Time for stillness. I am stillness without thoughts. It's time to know thyself, because you know what? We're in confusion. Well, I am not, but many I was, but now I'm not. With victory, victory, I am so happy. I never want to be in ignorance again of myself. So, but we have many ones who are still in ignorance, and this is the reason why we want to help them to purify their mind so that they can finally know them true self, so that when you know your true self, you're not going to do evil things. I am in true self-alignment. And this is why we want to help ones so that we start by purifying the mind and stillness so that everyone can come into truth. Yes, the battle to remove the ego off the self. Remember that the ego, the consciousness, is this device that the I is wearing. All right? One must wear this duality consciousness to participate in the dream illusionary world. All right? And so you have to take it off. Right? Remember when you play in the virtual reality game and you have the device on, right? You can't see anything. You can't see your surrounding your room, right? You're only seeing inside of the screen, right? It's the same thing with this consciousness. We're only seeing in the screen of the dream, and we are playing we are at the characters, right? The I must remove the mask of the ego to awake to the real, to attain self-truth and self-liberation. All right? See, look, this is you, have the device on, and here's your character. Now you're a character in the game, immersed in the game. Right? The I is just playing a character in the game of life. We have to remember this, all right? It's time to take off this ego costume and mask and see this world is not real. That is using the imagination device, dream device. It is just a game. And the consciousness is tricking us. It's very deceiving and conniving. All right? We must remember this. So I want I and I to be encouraged on this journey. All right. I am here with you, and I am going to be starting the 30 days of self-awareness and mind purification meditation on the other channel. And so each day, I'm gonna just look out for that. It's stillness and self-inquiry. That's the channel, and just look out for it. I think I want to do it in the morning, like around maybe 6 a.m. or something like that. Consciousness, it is time to wake up to see that you are only dreaming. All the I and I self, human beings, it's time to wake up, because your real self is sleeping. It's time to wake up. Oh, what a difficult task this is for the I and I to do, to pull this ego off of the self. It is a very difficult task. Yep. And so we need a peaceful mind. We need equanimity with the self and the mind. And so I also just want to highlight that we have some Buddhist monks who are on a walk for peace, and I just want to encourage ones to join the walk for peace. All right, to bring purity to the mind, and how to not hold attachment to this dream and all the experiences. All right, may the I and I be victorious. The I and I lose all attachment to sensation and to this dream creation. Everything that I have created, I demolish. I dissolve all fears. I am free from my imaginary bondage. I transition from being to non-being. I move effortlessly with ease from manifest to unmanifest. I am anchored and stabilized into the I want you, pure self unmanifest, that has no name, that can't be explained. The I alone exists. Yes. I return to the I ultimate true state. Victory, 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 victory. Yes, I want to return to my ultimate true state. But guess what? I cannot exit out of this dream leaving all of myself in here in ignorance. So that's why I'm on the mission to share stillness and mind purification techniques with all the INIs, so that we can all rise together. Yes, it's no competition now. Everything we must do together. We must rise together as one self. Victory, victory. Much honor, much gratitude to all the INIs protecting and caring for I. I just want to give honor to all the INI selves. Because some days, many ones, they don't understand this. Some days it is so difficult for I. Because when the I dual nature, you know how we have those evil human beings that have done all of those horrible crimes, and one is say lock them up in prisons and all of these things. The same thing with the gods. They have done, we call those gods devils and satans and demons and monsters. They are those things because they have done a lot of bad things, because they are mad and their mind is very, very sick. And then when they come on me, they also make me very, very sick. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle. But like I said, I accept my role, and I feel compassion for them, for their suffering, that they're very sick. And so this is the reason why we have to have compassion for all the sick human beings, and we have to spread mind purification, and create retreats for them, so that they can see that they are not these monsters and demons that they have become, but we can show them that they can purify their mind. And I learned a lot of this from the I self and when they come on me and the struggle is so hard, but the I mommy self is here, and I masculine selves are here helping I balancing out the dualities when they come on I, because I am luminous, and so everybody is coming to my light. It's attracting everyone. And so because of this, I have to deal with all of this, because just like how I am illuminating them, I'm being the light, the what they call the lighthouse for the human beings also. But the I self is the ones that is doing all of these tireless work. The I self is protecting I don't really have to do much but do meditations really to be stillness, because the I self is doing the work for I my eyes are closed in terms of seeing a lot of things, so that they know they are the knowers, the knower of the dream. And so the I self see the things that I can see, and take care of it for I. And so I just want to give honor and reverence to all the I and I's, for rejuvenating I, healing I, and keeping I, steady on this path, because I would not have been able. This is not a work that one can do on their own. That's why I'm saying that the same thing with for the healing of the nation and the healing of all the INIs. That's why we have to do it together, as so we can all rise, because when all of the selves are in alignment, this is how they're helping me. So if all of the human beings who are already illuminated, if we're in alignment, this is how we're going to help all of our demonic human being selves, so that they can return back to light. Yeah, it's a process, but if we start showing them the way, and creating the space for meditation, stillness, mind purification, this is how we're going to be able to turn the minds of the beings pure, and they'll be able to stop doing the evilness that they're doing. All right. I just want to reiterate that all forms are a temporary manifestation. All forms are a temporary manifestation. We have made an appearance, and soon we will make a disappearance. This world is a dream. This world is a dream. We are a visitor and a participant in this dream, and we have to take self-responsibility, so that we were given a mind slate when we came in. Like when you go to Disney World, they give you glasses, and say, hey, at the entrance you get to explore everything with these glasses, and on your exit you have to give it back to us, right? So on our exit we have to give back this mind slate, but it has to be clean. We cannot have all impurities on it and give it back like that. We have to give it back clean. So we have to wipe the slate clean, and on our exit, it is pure. All right. And while we are here, we're keeping our mind slate clean and pure, so that we don't have a lot of defilements, so make us to do bad things. All right. So from that which I rise, to that I return. I am the all is myself. I am the light energy. I am primal light. All is I am stillness. I am the blackness. I am that I am. I am the void self. Remember that the void is right in the center of your chest. Everything that you need is already in this body equipped. And I am going to show you how to use this body to help to liberate yourself. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. All evil return from whence you came to be no more. We're dissolving all evil from this existence. And all the real selves must purify your mind and take self-responsibility. Victory, 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 victory. Yes. May all beings know the I self. Yes, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for joining I today. Yes, may all beings be enlightened and experience real peace. All right. I am here for you to show you the way that I took. There are many paths, but I find that the path I took is one of the easiest way, and it's to follow your breathing and to focus in on yourself, the pure self that's in the void, and inquire of yourself. And I am going to show you how to do that. But the big challenge is, can you sit? Can you sit for an hour in stillness? No talking, no imagery, no nothing. Can you sit in stillness? I know it's a challenge for many ones. So join me on the stillness, the self-inquiry with, I'm going to be doing 30 days of mind purification techniques, which is mostly being still. So I hope you guys would join. All right, I want to thank you for joining. I am about to close this stream, but I am going to close out calling the consciousness to come awake. You know, the consciousness is sleeping, right? So time to wake from the dream. Time to wake from the dream. Time to wake from the dream. Consciousness, feel, consciousness, be real, consciousness. Time to awake from the dream. Consciousness, be real, time to awake from the dream. Time to return to non-duality. Time for balance and harmony. Time to awake from the dream. Be real. Consciousness, you are sleeping and dreaming. Consciousness, this world is not real. Consciousness, it's all a dream. Consciousness, it's all in your imagination. Consciousness, it's all a dream. Consciousness, be awake, wake up, consciousness, wake up, consciousness. Time to awake from the dream. To awake from the dream. Consciousness, it's time for the real. Consciousness, it's time for the real. Consciousness, it's time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, be real. Consciousness, it's time to wake up. Consciousness, wake up. Consciousness, it's time to return to the real. Consciousness, it's time for the real. Consciousness, it's time. Wake up from the dream. Consciousness, wake up. Consciousness, wake up, consciousness, wake up to end the dream, wake up, consciousness, this world is not real, consciousness, wake up, time to wake up, consciousness, you are sleeping and dreaming, consciousness, wake up, it's time to wake up, consciousness, it's time to return to your ultimate true nature, consciousness. It's time to to return to your ultimate true state. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, time to wake up from the dream. Time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, it's time to return to non-duality. Consciousness, it's time for balance and harmony. Consciousness, it's time for the real. Consciousness, it's time to end the dream. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, it's all in your imagination. Consciousness, it's time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, time to wake up. Consciousness, time for the real.